why do we always go for high reward? Might seem like a bit of a rhetorical question, quite frankly, but you might be surprised by the answers. Not only does it suit our trading style in a way which makes it effortless and profitable, we can also afford to lose more than we win. Because if you think about it, if we're risking 1% and losing more trades than we've won, losing 1%, and we've got a reward to risk profile of 3 to 1, then we can gain overall. And we'll show you how we do that in a bit. And thirdly, we can have our trades exposed to news absolutely no problem, and that's a real breadwinner, quite frankly. When everyone else is scarpering around not knowing what they're doing, we can just simply walk away and be blissfully oblivious to what is actually going on. So as you know, we only trade the daily charts. It enables us to take the bigger picture and take advantage of the longer term moves, which have not only high probability associated with them, but also they yield far better reward to risk than you would otherwise get intraday. Intraday traders typically go for a high frequency of trades with smaller gains but higher probability, whereas us longer term traders tend to go for a lower frequency of trades with higher reward, which is a lot less stressful actually. And with this style, it enables us to set and forget essentially and have a very, very peaceful trading experience, unlike watching every bar that closes and wondering what the news is going to be like and getting all worried and nervous, fearful and greedy, like a lot of people do when they lose their nerve, no matter how long they've been trading for. We can circumvent all of that, set our orders and walk away and enjoy having a life. If that works for you, then great. And also with our low frequency of trading and minimized time spent in front of the screen, we're also able to get a better time versus return synergy. So if you think about it, if we add up all the hours we spend in the month in front of the screen divided by any gain or loss we've made, we get a much better gain or loss for every hour we've spent in front of the screen than if, for example, you spent 4 hours a day in front of the screen. Because regardless of whether we've made a gain or not, we can essentially attribute our new abundance of free time as being pure wealth in its own right, with regards to us being able to do other things in our free time, lifestyle, family, other businesses, whereas anyone who's trading the markets intraday would, to their detriment, have to spend much more time nursing their trades in front of the screen, and that of course limits them in the other areas they could be spending their time doing. And I'd just like to address a long-founded myth here. A lot of people, certainly the ones new to the market, perceive intraday trading as being a lot more profitable than end-of-day trading and would like to bulldoze that myth completely. Certainly when you take into consideration it's the net sum of all trades that we need to be taking into account here. So whilst end-of-day traders might have a month where they trade 3 or 4 times and the intraday trader trades 15 to 30 times, it's all about the end result. And we can objectively look at our results at the end of every quarter rather than at the end of every day. Certainly people who impose daily targets on themselves, intraday traders, put themselves under a lot of pressure to hit that target. And when you're under pressure in the market, that can force you to make irrational decisions out of boredom, frustration and anger. As we just mentioned with end-of-day trading, we don't have that. Why would we want that? So this might sound absolutely ridiculous, but with the high reward to risk profiles which you take, you can actually still make a good percentage return, even if you have a higher frequency of losing trades than winning trades. And this is all down to a very decent reward to risk profile. As you have probably learnt by now, we don't risk any more than 1% per trade. So we know full well that if the trade goes against us, the maximum we lose is 1%. However, if it does go in our direction and it hits target, we make at least 3% because we don't target any more or any less, than 3% per trade. It's not unknown for us to go for 5 to 1s or 10 to 1s, even the occasional 20 to 1 reward to risk trade. So bearing that in mind, if we have a sample of 10 trades and worst case scenario, we lose 7 of these trades and they hit our stop loss and we're down 7%, and 3 out of those 10 trades, just 3 actually go on to hit target, then if they're 3 to 1 reward to risk profile, we've made a total of 9% from our 3 winning trades, whereas with our 7 losing trades, we've only lost 7%. So that has given us a net gain overall of 2%. So this is why having such a great reward to risk in our favour and only taking trades which yield us this 3-to-1 minimum reward to risk really does serve us well, because we can essentially just have a high frequency of losers and still be up. In this case, we made an overall gain of 2%, and of course this is the worst case scenario. I personally can't remember the last time when I had 7 losing trades in a row, but we just thought we'll give you that in order to bear that into consideration. And a third plus point with high reward to risk is the fact that we can use news to our advantage here. Whilst a lot of people are worried and frenziing about with the prospect of news affecting their trades, we can take advantage of the fact that we've got high rewards. So given we have no idea whether the news is going to be in our favour or not, it's a 50-50 chance it could be, it's a 50-50 chance it might not be. However, we know full well that because of the high reward we have, if it is in our favour, we could potentially gain 3% minimum, even more than that. But if the news is against us, then we've got a limit of losing only 1% if it does go against us. Essentially, we can manage the downside with news, but certainly the upside, that could be as much as we can. So news is our friend in this instance, and that's why we like news. Certainly, news does dictate the direction of the market. The markets ebb and flow, and high reward to risk trading enables us to capitalize off the back of that in the best way possible.